Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Just give me a second. Let me fix this up. My seating arrangement. All right, guys. So I was asking, did you try this CLA task? Not yet. Okay. Few people tried, few people know. Okay. Those who have not tried, please do it. Right. So because, yeah. Okay. Amita, get well soon. Yeah. Today, what we're going to do is, um, guys, which is the service which synchronize the data from on-premises to AWS? Do you remember that service name? Which is a service synchronized in storage services we discussed, right? In storage services we discussed there is a service where you can synchronize the data from on-premises to AWS. Storage gateway. Do you remember storage gateway? Yeah. So storage gateway, guys, is basically, as the name suggests, it is like a, what do you say, on-premises to AWS. But do we have on-premises at the moment? Talk about storage gateway? No. But in general, let's go and I'll try to explain this, what is the storage gateway and all about, and see what we can do with that. Guys, keep this in mind. There are few services where we can discuss, but we cannot do the practicals. But let's see for this guy. So today's topic is storage gateway. Storage gateway. So what is the definition of storage gateway, guys? It is used to synchronize the data from on-premises to AWS. It's synchronized the data from on-prem to AWS. Do you remember to which services does it try to synchronize the data? S3, EBS, and Glacier. These three services, the storage gateway will synchronize the data to S3, EBS, and Glacier. Let's see how. I'll keep it very simple. See here. Let's say this is our on-premises. Okay. This is our on-premises. Okay. And guys, in on-premises, we'll be having different kind of servers. Do you agree? We'll have a different kind of server. We have web server, app servers, we have DB servers, we have peoples, those who will be connecting to it, right? So we have, and then we'll be having a storage. Remember, guys, every kind of service will have it here. So this is on-prem. This is on-prem. So let's say this is a storage, and this is the web. Let's say this is the application server. This is a DB server, and there will be multiple servers. People will be accessing it in your company. Do you agree? Yes or no? Yeah. Yeah. Let's say, for example, guys, let's say, for example, there are many people that who will be connecting to the storage. Guys, let's say whenever you join a company, you'll be working in your desktop, right, in your workstation. And then your team members or your manager will say that, hey, put all this data in particular server. It will be backed up automatically. So all these, not only web server, app server, DB server, or anything, what they do is they'll go and take the backup in the storage. Yes or no? Let's say, for example, this storage is only 1 terabyte. For example, this storage is only 1 terabyte. Guys, all the employees will think that they have backed up the data over here in the storage. But as an admin in the backend, I need to take the backup of the storage also, na? Yes or no? Right? We have only 2 people, guys. How about others? Come on, please be very interactive. Yeah. So here, can you tell me this 1 terabyte is sufficient to take the backup of the storage again? No. So there will be a need to increase the storage size. What you need to do as an admin, you need to go and purchase a new storage here. Instead of purchasing the new storage, what it would be like, guys, guys, is it possible to add S3 bucket as a mount point to the EC2 instance or any server? No, no. S3 is used to just only to store the data. But how would it be? How would it be for all your all your machines in your on premises? Let's say your desktop, to your desktop. How would it be if S3 is mounted as an additional volume to your desktop, as an additional disk to your desktop? Just imagine. S3 is limited or unlimited storage? Unlimited storage, right? It's unlimited storage. That would be really wonderful. Do you need to purchase this extra storage? No. So what you can do is you can push all the data automatically to S3. How? We'll see this. Guys, let's say this is AWS. This is AWS. Okay. In AWS, you can push the data to S3. You can push the data to EBS or volumes. All right. And you can push the data to Glacier. Okay. Now, guys. So what you need to do it here is, let's say, for example, if you want to put the data directly to S3, without AWS console, can you put that into an S3? No, no, right? So from on premises, you are synchronizing the data to S3. So guys, some part of your storage is private and you are using the public storage. What is the combination of public and private called? Hybrid, right? So now this is called hybrid storage. This is a certification question, guys. So in AWS, which is the service act as a hybrid storage? Storage gateway. What is that? Storage gateway. Okay, now let's see here, guys. Now I have one server in my on premises. I have multiple servers. I want to push the data directly to S3 as a mount point. As a mount point, I need to mount S3 or EBS or a Glacier to my machine here, That would be possible using a concept called storage gateway. What is that? Storage gateway. Guys, here you need to set up a storage gateway on your on premises. That can be a virtual machine. Guys, on premises, what do you have? Virtual machines only, na? Guys, your on premises is virtualized, right? So can you create a virtual machine on premises? Definitely yes. So you can create or you can have an EC2 instance. You can work on EC2 instance also. See guys here. When you go to the storage gateway in console, you have an option to download an image. What is that? You have an option to download the image. You download the image, and then with that image, can you create a virtual machine on your on premises? Definitely yes. You download the image. That image contains storage gateway appliance already. That image contains storage gateway software already. So you don't need to separately install. This is an appliance. It's a software. It's a software, guys. The question for you is, storage gateway appliance should be on AWS or should be on premises? Everyone. Storage gateway setup should be done on AWS or on premises. Which one? On premises. Very good. So guys, this web server, app server, DB server, storage gateway, this storage server, this examples I have given, you have so many number of servers and workstations in your on premises, and if you want to push all the data, synchronize all the data to S3, EBS or Glacier, you can use the concept called storage gateway. So the storage gateway is a software which you need to set it up on your machine on your on premises. On premises, you have a virtual machine concept. So if you go to storage gateway on the console, AWS will give an image. Use that image and create a virtual machine on your on premises. It has a storage gateway. Is it clear till here, everyone? Nice. Now what you do is, let's say for example, you want to store, hey, by the way, S3 is what based storage? S3 is what based storage? Object based storage. And this one, EBS is block based storage, and Glacier is also object based storage. Okay, so you have a requirement to synchronize the data like objects. Which one do you choose, S3, EBS or Glacier? Obviously S3, right? Okay, let's say guys, so you have a requirement on your on premises to synchronize the data to like synchronize the object, all the flat files to AWS. Then you should use S3, right? So here guys, we have 3 types of storage gateways. So here, if you want to synchronize the data to S3, you need to set up, we have 3 types of storage gateways. Number one is file gateway. What is that called? File gateway. And number 2, and if you want to synchronize the data to the EBS, yeah, go with that. And that is called volume gateway. What is that called? Volume gateway. And finally, you can move the data to Glacier using a concept called, is a gateway called tape gateway. Guys, there are 3 different types of gateways. What are those? File gateway, volume gateway, tape gateway. Guys, I don't see any certification questions on the storage gateway, but this is just an additional topic like for you. Like let's say, if you want to synchronize the data to S3, which gateway that you should set up? File. If you want to synchronize the data to volumes, then volume gateway. And if you want to archive some data to Glacier directly, what gateway you should set up? Tape gateway. Okay. So what you do is, if you want to, from this machine, if you want to connect to, if you want to synchronize the to S3, this storage gateway, you guys, what you need to do, you mount this storage gateway to this server. I'll show you how to do that, right? You mount this storage gateway to the server, and if you mount this file gateway, whatever the gateway that you have created, directly you can push it to S3 from here itself. I'll show you that. To push that to, if you want to push that to this guy, volume gateway, you can use volume gateway, or you can choose this tape gateway. Tape gateway is really interesting, guys. Tape gateway meaning, I still remember when I was working in Infosys, right, few years back, in the data center, I need to take, see, all the employees will think that they have pushed all the data in the data center and it is safe. But as an admin, I need to take the backup also in the data center, right? The backup of the backup. Yes. So I need to take the backup of the backup. So how do I take the backup of the backup is, guys, on those days, we have something called tape gateways. Tape gateways. Tape gateways meaning, do you remember how the VCR look like? VCR on olden days, guys, where you put VCD inside it. Do you remember VCR days, guys? We have a, you know tape recorder, right? In tape recorder we put the tapes, na? The same way here, the there will be a tape library, guys. There will be a tape library like tape recorder, and we'll put the tapes inside it, magnetic tapes. So here also in our data center, there will be a tape library, big tape library, and I used to put the tapes inside the tape library, and I run the backup. All the backups will be took into the tapes, the cassettes, the tapes, and I used to keep that safe in the locker. So basically, this is the manual approach. But now this has become automatic now, guys. You can use this tape gateway. So instead of tape library, you can use something called VTL, virtual tape library. You no need to have a concept of physical anymore. This is virtual tape library. Are you getting, guys? What I do is, why I'm taking the backup in the cassettes? To archive it. To archive it. Instead of taking the backup in the tapes, in the cassettes, now all the data what you don't need to archive, you just create a storage gateway called tape gateway, and you push all the backup to the storage gateway all the way, like, yeah, it will go like this. So you push it here to here, and all the way automatically it will go and sit into the Glacier. If you set up VTL. If you want to archive it, go for tape gateway in Glacier. If you want to use volumes directly here on your on-premises servers, guys, is it possible to mount your volumes apart from EC2 to your on-premises in general? No. Using the storage gateway, you can mount it. Hey, can you tell me, is it possible to mount S3 to your on-premises machine directly? Definitely no. But using storage gateway, you can mount it. You can mount it. And also here in storage gateway, in this volume gateway, you have two things. One is cache, we call it as cached volume. Another one is stored volume. Guys, if you need, see, let's say you are putting the data directly into the volumes, and all, if you need all frequently accessed data to be stored here, then if you need more high performance, low latency, go for cached volume. And if you don't want, if you want to directly hit the volumes, go for stored volumes. Guys, why you use, okay, now the question will be like this. Which is the volume gateway this is used for low latency, cached or stored? For the low latency, cached one. Guys, is this clear till here, everyone? Are you following, getting it? Everyone? Nice. Okay. So now, as a part of certification questions, file gateway uses a protocol called NFS and SMB. NFS, you know very well, network file system, right? Network file system. And then SMB is server message block. What is that? Server message block. Guys, did we learn the EFS? Yes or no? Practicals are done on EFS? No. We could have took the EFS first. Yeah, never mind. Okay. So, and this guy is use a protocol called iSCSI. Just remember, these are all the type of protocols that uses in the backend. Okay, uses in the backend. This is AWS. Did you understood the architecture, the whole architecture? So now what we're gonna do is, guys, now what we're gonna do is, see, everything what we have it here on the left side is on premises. Do we have on premises? Yes or no? Do we have on premises at the moment? No. We don't have any on-premises at the moment. No. Is it possible to do this practical? Usually, no. But the thing is here, you have an option to set up the storage gateway in EC2 also. Okay. So now what we're going to do is, guys, I will go and set up one a store. Okay, see here, guys, let's see here. I'll create one EC2 instance. Okay. And I'll set up a storage gateway and I'll create a bucket. Let's take an example of file gateway. Okay. Now, guys, the task for us here is, this is storage gateway, right? I need to go and set up a storage gateway, and this storage gateway has to talk to automatically to what? S3. What is that? If I'm using S3, that meaning what type of storage gateway I need to set up? I need to configure file. So this is the file gateway I need to set up, right? And then I'll set up this. And later I launch an Linux EC2 instance. What is that, guys? I launch a Linux EC2 instance, and then I will mount this storage gateway to this. And now, guys, whenever I put any data into this, using this mount point, using the storage gateway, automatically it should go and sit in the S3. You understood the task? You understood the task here? Guys, first of all, is it possible to mount S3 to the Linux machine directly? Did we learn that? No, no. So using the storage gateway, now we will mount S3. We will mount S3. Are we ready to do that? Yes. Yes. But one thing, this will not come under FreeTire because it needs M4X large machine to set up a storage gateway. That's a big machine, M4X large, but never mind. I'll try to do that. I'll try to do that for you. Okay, let's go to console. Guys, first what we need to set up? Storage gateway, right? Let's go to storage gateway. See here, what is storage gateway? A storage gateway is a service connecting an on-premises software appliance with cloud-based storage to provide, guys, all these things. What is that? Between an organization on-premises IT environment and AWS infrastructure storage. So this is a big thing, but simply it is used to synchronize the data from on-premises to AWS storage. AWS storage meaning that will be S3, that will be EBS, that will be Glacier. Are you following? Is it going your brains, or it is out of topic for you? Yes, right? I'm asking many times, guys. Following, right? Okay, nice. Nice, nice. Let's get started. So guys, we have here three types of gateways. Three types of gateways. What is the sample gateway that we should take? Let's take the file gateway. Okay. But if you take volume gateway, we discussed na cached and store. Which one is used for low latency? See, low latency for cached. And if you want to directly put it in EBS, then go for stored volume. But here, for example, now I will go with the file gateway. Yeah. Next. Guys, I told you na, that we can download the image on your on-premises. Guys, usually this storage gateway should be on premises, right? But I will be setting up. You can have a VMware image here. You can download Hyper-V image here. You can download whatever here. But we can set up in EC2 also, na storage gateway. Let's select this EC2. And you see the instructions here, guys. It is asking to choose launch instance. Okay, and instance type is M4X large, and it is asking to assign auto assign public IP. And guys, it is also asking to create an additional volume for the cache for the low latency purpose. We will do that and configure the security group with TCP this port number and then launch. Do we know all these things, how to do this already? Yes. Should we launch? Do you see that here? launch an EC2 instance. Okay. Meanwhile, I'll help you also to get the notes here, how to set it up. What is the first step here? Create a storage gateway on EC2. Which one, which storage gateway that you should choose? Nice. Choose file gateway. And what is the second step here? We are launching. See, I'm clicking on the launch. Guys, directly it went to the step 2. Why it is skipped step 1? Because the image is already taken. If you click on choose AMI, this is the AWS provided AMI which has storage gateway already installed. Hai. Let's go to T2 Micro. Oh me, sorry. Which one we need to select here, guys? M4X large. Where is that M4X large? You see that? M4X large. It needs 16 GB RAM. Okay, let's go for that. Next. Yeah, I'll go with M4X large. Okay, I'll enable public IP. Okay, next. Guys, see, the storage for this is minimum 80 GB C drive. And we need to add a new volume also. Na? Let's put 100 GB for this. Because for caching purpose. For caching purpose. I'll delete on termination also. I'll enable it. When I delete, that should be deleted automatically. Next, I call it as storage gateway. Next, select the security group, review, and then launch. Guys, you understood what I did? I'm setting up a storage gateway. The same way you need to set it up on your own premises. I'm writing it for you. Launch EC2 instance with M4 X large having root volume as 8 GB and additional volume with 100 GB. Okay, guys. So now let's go to the security groups and then we need to enable the NFS. But for now, guys, for now, what I do is I'll enable all traffic for now, guys, all traffic anywhere. Or you can go with the NFS protocol called 2049. But for now, we'll just go with anywhere because in your real time, you need to enable the port numbers 2049. But for now, let's go with all. So enable all traffic for default SE. Guys, this is temporary, okay? This temporarily you enable it. Okay. Let's see our machine is ready. Machine is getting up. Let's see to storage gateway. Should we click next? We have launched an EC2 instance now. Let's click on next. Guys, as we are working from outside, should we do public or VPC? Public, select public, click on next. And it is asking for the IP address, guys. It is asking for the IP address. Which IP address? Connect to the gateway. Which IP address it is asking for? Which IP address it is asking for? The storage gateway which we have just launched. Nice, EC2 IP. Very good. Let's select that IP. Guys, if you are setting up the storage gateway on EC2, would it be good to have public IP or elastic IP in real time? Nice, elastic IP. Okay. Okay, it is okay. It's now ready. Let's go to storage gateway and put the IP address that I have copied and connect it. See guys, it's connected now. It's connected, and let's select. This is how, but in your actual environment, you need to give the virtual on-premises storage gateway IP address, right? But here we have given EC2 IP address. So I select gateway name. I call it as my file gateway, something you give it. Activate. See, now my gateway is active, and it is checking for the cache, local disk. How much is size that we have given for the cache? 100, right? Yeah. It is finding out, do I have any local disk to do all kind of store all kind of frequently accessed data for caching purpose? Yes. You see that we have additional disk here with 100 GB, and you allocate it has automatically allocated to cache, but at least it is asking for 150 GB, what we have provided 100. That's fine. You understood what we did? Connect to the gateway, provide EC2 instance public IP. I'm also putting that in real time, use EIP. And then what we did, wait until to get the gateway active and allocate and see if 100 GB is allocated as cache. Is this clear till here, guys? Click on exit. Oh, let's refresh. Why this it says? Okay, there is no logging enabled. Yeah. Health legs logs. Yeah. Yeah, look at. I didn't click. Okay. Allocate that. Yeah. And click on logging and don't enable logs just for. Yeah. Okay, so now my file gateway is created. What's the next step, guys? My storage gateway is created with the file gateway. So file gateway is created. Should we create a S3 bucket now to store the data? Let's go and create S3 data. S3 bucket. Let's create a bucket. I call it as storage gateway demo BKT, something. Okay. I created it. Mumbai. Guys, you got that? We set up the storage gateway first. And then we created a bucket. Now, should I launch an EC2 instance and try to mount this point here? Before that, what I do is, guys, here, you have created a file gateway, but you need to connect storage gateway and an S3, na? Guys, yes or no? For that, will you create a file share or create volume or create tips? Which one do you choose out of this? Will you create file share or create volume or create tapes? File share, very good. Click on file share. What is the bucket name we just created? Storage gateway demo bucket is a bucket name which we created. Guys, and NFS used for Linux and SMB used for Windows. So did we discuss this NFS protocol and SMB protocol? So this file gateway supports two protocols, NFS and SMB. NFS is for Linux, SMB is for Windows. And then here you have automated cache refresh from S3. Guys, we have selected 100 GB for the caching purpose now. And for how much time it has to go to S3 and get the data again, new fresh data. So you can mention the timer here if you need. But for now, it's okay. Guys, you understood here? Click on next and keep everything default. Let it be storage classes should be standard only, and let it create a new role and let it be encrypted. Next, and then create file share. Guys, do you understood how to create a file share now? Number 6. What we did, we create a bucket. And number 7, what we did, create a file share from storage gateway console and provide S3 bucket details. Provide S3 bucket details. This is what we did it, right? Okay. Now, guys, where storage gateway is set up, file gateway type is set up, S3 is set up, and then the connection also we just did using file share. Using file share. And now we need to launch an EC2 instance. And if you select this, guys, if you select this, you got this mount point. See, now use this mount point in your anywhere in on-premises and try to mount it. And if you put data there, automatically it should store in S3. For this, as we are in AWS, should I launch one EC2 instance and try to mount this? Try to mount this mount point. Everyone? Yeah. So I should so somewhere I put the comments. Okay, never mind. Okay, so let's go to EC2 instance and let's try to launch one Red Hat one, T2 micro, put it in one lay, enable it, next, next, name, I call it as some demo machine, demo instance or app instance. Give some name, next, it, and then launch it. Now what I do, I log into this machine and I'll try to mount this. I try to mount this storage gateway, and then I put the data directly to the mount point, and that data should be visible directly inside this bucket. Do you understand that? Guys, do you understand? Yeah. So what we did, let me write this also for you. So what's the 8th step? Launch Red Hat EC2 instance, T2 micro only, right? Yeah. Now let's log in. Okay. Not yet. Okay. EC2 minus user. Sudo minus yes. Make it as root. Guys, now see here. This file gateway works on which protocol? Answer that. Excellent. NFS. Oh, you guys are listening. Yeah, nice. So first we need to install that NFS utils, right, on our machine in order to support NFS protocol. Yeah, for that simple command yum install NFS minus utils minus y. We need to install NFS utils on the machine. Let it install. Okay, NFS utils has been done. So guys, now we need to create a folder, right, in order to mount it. So what is the command to create a folder? Mkdir. Mkdir, I create a name called file gateway. I created a file gateway, right? And then let's try to mount to this directory. Which path? Do you see that here? We have this path, right? So take this in Notepad. Instead of put it here, instead of mount path here, what is the folder that we have created? File gateway, right? So file gateway slash. So we are mounting this entire. Can someone tell what is this IP address? Which IP address is this? Which IP addresses that would be? Anyone? Yeah. EC2 IP address, private IP address, right? That meaning the storage gateway IP address. The storage gateway IP address. Nice. So I take this entire command, right? And then I clear this and I mount it. Okay. See, there is a file gateway created. I'll go inside this file gateway. Right. So now, guys, now I have mounted the storage gateway, guys. Now here I have launched an EC2 instance. I have mounted the storage gateway to this machine. This storage gateway is nothing but file gateway only now, which has already a connection to the S3. Now I am into this mount point. If I create any file, this should be automatically synchronized to the S3 bucket or not? Yes or not? Yes or no, guys? So here I create a file called touch test.txt. Boom. Should we see in the S3 bucket? That should get synchronized. That is a trickiest part. Let's see. If you go inside this, okay, let's wait a bit. It is asynchronous. No objects, no objects. Let it synchronize. Oh, do you see that? Test.txt here. Yeah. That meaning here, guys, that meaning here, somewhere in on premises, my machine, if you mounted, guys, just now we have that mount point, right? If you mount that on your normal machine using storage gateway, now guys, you can put how much ever data you want. If you use df minus h, df minus h is a command to see the mount point. See, this is the mount point. So guys, this is unlimited mount point. How much ever data I want to put it, now I can put it here. It is unlimited. Whatever the data I put it here, now indirectly you have mounted this unlimited storage S3 to your mesh here. Is it clear? Isn't it WoW in your on-premises? I'll put this also here. Sudo yum install which command? NFS minus utils. And then mkdir file gateway. File gateway. And then I have mounted this entire line. I have mounted this entire line. Okay, nice. And then if you go to CD file gateway, right? And then create a sample files and check in S3. Check in S3. Got this? You understood how to use the storage gateway, guys? Everyone? So that is the purpose of storage gateway. Now, now the same way how I did it on EC2, the same way you need to do it on the virtual machine, right? This is how the purpose of the storage gateway is. Okay. So once it is done, guys, terminate. Okay. This is a big machine. So terminate instances that you have created, right? S3 bucket, file gateway, and storage gateway finally. You need to delete all these things. Is this clear before I go and delete it, guys? Can I delete it? Nice. So here, delete file share, confirm, gateways, delete the gateway. You can stop, you can edit, you can do whatever. That's a normal thing. Delete gateways, and then terminate this EC2 instances. And then delete the bucket here. Super clean. So guys, this task is up to you, but it doesn't much charge because you will be using only for 1 hour. So 1 hour, it may be some 30 rupees or 40 rupees you need to pay for this, or maximum $1, 60 or 75 rupees if you want to do this practicals. Can we both mount Linux and Windows in one gateway? You need to create a separate file gateway with SMB protocol. Harsha, if you use SMB protocol, then you can mount it. Yeah, but yes, you can mount it also here. I delete it. Yeah, you can mount it. Yeah. Let's take the photo. Great. Hey, can you give me the final CC for today on this topic, guys? Smile, good for health. Don't be serious. Okay. Right. So guys, please do this practical, and then I'm telling you again and again, please don't stack it up. If you stack it up, it's problem for you. Please finish the previous practicals and try to do this. Guys, that is all for today, and I'll see you tomorrow with the next topic. Until then, take care. Bye bye. Have a nice day and good night.